I hope you guys can see me. I'm in the shade. I ain't getting out in the sun. Man, it is freaking hot. But we got the result, and I'm going to jump down here and show you what I'm talking about. Hopefully you can see what we got going on right here. I'm going to try to get this done in a real quick thing. Here's why this one struggled. This one was better, but still not there. This one and this one are top dogs. It basically boils down to the spool weight with the line on it or whatever. And the reason I run braid is because you can fill up a spool with braid and still be fairly light. But this is the new Black Knight, and we're going to weigh the spool. And that's roughly what you start casting. You know, you got some line already off, but it's 12.3 grams with braided line on. Now you could probably, but if you fill it to that level, it doesn't matter what size braid you're using. That is about as full as you want to get it. So did you guys get that number? Have that in your head. 12.3 grams. All right. So here's the PW100, which cast further than the Black Knight. And you want to know why? Here's why. 11.4. It is about a gram lighter. May not seem like a lot, but when you're dealing with that ultra light baits, even though it's got that longer shaft, it's a lighter spool. So you guys with the Black Knight, whoever makes that, you got some work to do on getting that spool lighter. It needs to be a lot lighter. You can tell by just how you can almost feel it that this is made thicker, and it's a good stout one, probably good for all around, but it's definitely lighter. Now to these, and which surprised me, because I still think my Aldebaran should beat that new Alphas, or my new Alphas. But here is the Aldebaran crazy little bitty spool bearings. It's got little bitty one right out of the box. Awesome bearings. 9.4. You guys see that? 9.4. Let's do it one more time. With line, 9.4 grams. So it blows away these as far as a couple grams lighter than this one, several grams lighter than that. So the initial startup takes way less, very lightweight bearings. Then we come to this little dude. This dude is a little bitty dude. Let's just get this off of it. So about right there. So this one is actually heavier. Do you see that? Now I got about the same. See that line? 9.6. And you see that one? 9.4. So I mean, they're close. You know, filling them, you probably would think they're exactly the same. Totally different size. Like this way, this one's wider and bigger around by quite a bit. Like it's a bigger spool for sure, but it's not a huge spool by any means. But this is a little bitty one, but it is not lighter, and that surprised me, as I just had it in my head for some reason think this would be a lighter spool, but I guess because of this stuff it's actually a touch heavier. 9.4. So that spool, in my mind, I should still be able to go out with that Aldebaran and beat this spool. So now probably not with the Black Knight beating this one, even if I change braid. So what I may do, look forward to another video. Oh man, these videos drive me nuts. I don't mind doing these, but trying to put it all together to where you guys understand what's going on, I don't really like that part of it. But that surprised me that sucker is a touch heavier than my Aldebaran, which I believe the reason the ALC beats them all is because it's even lighter than this. I can't remember the exact weight on the ALC. And I will mention, and I may need to do it on this reel, because I bought this one used and I've not done anything to it. It's missing the last magnets. I didn't pay any attention. I think I have them somewhere. It's a possibility I need to put those in and then set this at a lighter setting, and that may actually let this reel cast even better. I don't know for sure. Maybe it won't do anything to it, but I thought they were all in there. For whatever reason, I had it in my head that those were in there, but the ones you can remove are removed and they're not in this reel. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. The dial was set up. There's no removing something. Now, at some point, I hear of guys either locking that out or putting a lighter spring so it comes out quicker. There's a few little tweaks you can do. Unless you know what you're doing, though, don't mess with that. But you're really limited. You just, you know, you have your setting here, which I had mentioned. That is an awesome setup. I like that. That clicking right there, that is awesome. You can hear it, see it, moves easy enough. I like the grip on it. I do like that setup. It also has very, you can't see the bearing in there, but that's actually a spacer, a bushing type thing. Then there's a small bearing in there, probably about the same size as all the bearings. So definitely awesome reels, but look at the spool. This spool looks like a monster. That's the Black Knight. Wow. And I can tell you by how thick, you can see in there how thick this is. The Black Knight would make an awesome put 15-20 pound braid on. That spool can probably take a beating. It's actually way thicker than it needs to be made. Hopefully the next step in the evolution of this reel, you know, they added the clicker hybrid ceramic bearings, but hopefully its next evolution, and it does have the 4, I don't think they come out though, it's got 4 brakes in it, is to lighten that spool up, because that is definitely way too big and heavy for a true BFS, you know, today's standards. Because PW100, it's legit. I've been talking about it. That reel right there, and it could probably even get better with bearing upgrades, because those bearings, if you can see them, that's nothing special, no special bearings to write home about. And guys have talked about putting, you know, the whether it be the Hedgehog or the, you know, AliExpress versions, and I may need to get a set for that PW100 and just try it, because I've always liked the way it feels. It's kind of small and compact, and I like the way it feels. Okay guys, I need to get out of here. I need to go take a shower again. I'm all sweaty. I just finished lifting some weights and showered and came out here, figured I'd do a quick video, and it is hot. It's, get off me, bug. But hopefully you liked that, and you stay tuned though. Like I still need to use the alphas more. I still need to get the Black Knight, and you know, which one would I say to recommend as of right now? For sure, here's the rod I recommend. The Teton 632 ultralight for an all-around, anybody just getting into it, or you're just looking for another rod to have as a backup. Say you have, you know, some other rods that aren't Tetons. If you've never tried a Teton rod, this one I recommend to start with. 632 ultralight. Awesome rod. This one I've had for 3 years now, maybe longer. Had it a while and put it through the pace. It's stout. It's good. 522, I broke it jacking around. You guys heard that story, but I repaired it. It's rated only up to 3 pound. I was pulling, yanking around 10 pound, and I snapped it. But that is the only Teton I broke. Conquerors, that's a whole nother story. But before I can say that I would recommend this one over the PW100, I'm gonna still need to use it more. Can I get it to cast a little better? Like you've seen in that shootout, it missed by probably 3 to 5 feet on the distance that the PW100 will get, and it's just not quite as easy to cast. I mean, it's a good reel, but looking at that spool and how stout it's built, I compare it more along the lines like the XF50 that everybody raved about there for a while. It had that deeper than normal BFS, you know, shallow spools are. It was deeper, and it was a decent reel. I would definitely recommend this one over that reel. I'd recommend this over everything but maybe the Phantom, the GH100, or this PW100. But for me, as far as I like the clicking drags, I already have some reels that do that crazy light stuff if I need to go that light. This is probably, when I buy any in the future, will be this reel with that clicking drag. I can use them for an all-purpose throwing, because it'll throw. I was throwing, you'll see in different videos, an 1/8 ounce little cranks, those 3.5 gram poppers, all that kind of stuff. It'll throw it no problem. So, you know, honestly, I'm going to probably still push this reel as far as anybody wanting to, you know, hey Charlie, what do you recommend to get into it, just because of the enjoyment of the audible drag, set that drag kind of loose, whether it's a 632 or whatever, you know, BFS rod you decide on, and you're just after, you know, more of the sport and the joy of the catch rather than actually, you know, I need to catch a big monster fish on BFS gear kind of thing. or throw the smallest little tiny bait to a fish, because bass fishing, what I do, and I've talked about it, those little bitty baits. Now, if I go crappie fishing, it's a little bit of a different story, but last year the crappie were biting on 1/8 ounce jig with a jig head with a, you know, little swim bait trailers. I was tearing them up on, so I didn't need to throw anything super light. About 1/8 ounce is where I usually start out. All of these are capable of that. If you're looking for that 2 gram and lighter, you're gonna need to get the Aldebaran, the Alphas, or I'll still throw in that ALC BF7 of the newest reels out. But there's still a lot of older capable Abu Garcias or Daiwas in that lineup that will cast those weights fairly decent. And if you want, you can search aftermarket spools. If you already have, say, a Tatula and some other ones that can get you right in there in the ballpark, but not real good. Like, these stock spools are awesome. This one is actually made by KTF still. Kind of Daiwa has a, you know, thing going with them. I have a KTF in my Metanium that I still have, but it won't quite get down to what these were. It's a little bit heavier spool. It's lighter than these. It throws a little better than these too, but it's all about that weight. I'm telling you guys, that's spool weight. When you're looking at spools, or not spools, or spools for your reel you already have, or you're looking at reels, whether it be on AliExpress or used on eBay or wherever, look at that spool weight. The lighter, the better ease of casting. Doesn't mean it's a better reel, doesn't mean you'll like it better, but if you're wanting that ease of casting, it's all about that spool weight. Then, because you can always upgrade your bearings and different stuff like that. For me, it's a combination of everything, is why I still have the Aldebaran. It's top dog. Clicking audible drag, small, compact, lightweight, and as you've seen, the spool is as light of a stock spool as any of them. It's right there with it. I may need to add those other brakes, play around with it a little more. It does not get beat by much by this newest one out. The 2016's been out for 4 years. This spool and technology, Shimano's probably got something in the works to put, you know, not say put this one to shame, but to put it right there and like, okay, look what we got, kind of thing. And it may come right into like this, because that's another thing. This Alphas, I'm assuming they're going to come out with probably like an SV version of this Alphas, or who knows what, or maybe at some point they may turn this into the new Tatula. You never know what they're going to do. But it definitely has spacers to get that smallest spool in there. The housing itself wasn't made, which makes me believe it's probably the exact same. If you took those spacers out, the Steez CT spool would fit in there, I would assume. So you could probably get them spacers if you have a Steez CT and put this air spool in there, I'm thinking. No, we don't know kitty cat. Anybody want a free kitten?
No.
The kids think they're found two kittens, and oh my God, no. All right, guys, I'm done. I know I talk a lot. I don't know how much of this will make the video, but I'm sweating already again. I'm in the shade and it's hot and nasty feeling. I'm ready for that hoodie fishing weather, going all day long, getting out. You don't have to be up bright and early, and getting on some bass. So buckle up, hang on. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Bass and Bonsai videos, but get out and bass and bonsai on your own.